Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge that we're here on Larrakia land. Think about the Larrakia descendants that we get to share this space with. So welcome to our open studio. This has been a 3-week-long arts development around the theme of our heroes. And as you can see, everybody's taken it extremely differently and owned what our heroes means. I'm going to let the artists talk about that. So I'd just like to quickly thank Arts NT because they allowed us the funding to do this development. We will be working towards an exhibition next year sometime, and also next week we'll be going to Dondale to continue the art workshop around the theme. I'd also like to thank the Larrakia staff who always last minute have to, pull in and support us and get ice and get drinks and get food, and who always manage to support anything that the Art Centre is doing. And of course the artists and the arts mentors who really have and just work the hardest. The artists have shared a lot through this process, did a lot of talking to people, a lot of research, and found out a lot of stories that they knew, but I think discovered new things about some of those stories. And yeah, this is just the beginning of it, and we really look forward to seeing where this theme can go. And of course the volunteers that come in last minute, thanks so much you guys, saved the day. DVAA, you guys rock. And I'm going to hand on to the artists, starting with James because he's right behind me.
Of course, thanks to all of you for coming in just to see what we've done. It's a bit of short notice, but we hope that you enjoy the ideas that we're trying to get across. Because what is an artist? What is a hero? What does an artist take from them? Heroes are big and small. They're not always the bloke who's left standing at the end of the day. Some of the heroes, as you can see, with the entire range of characters that are presented, they're not set in stone. They're not. No hero is ever here forever. And what we hope, what I hope, is that somebody takes away just a little bit of what we're trying to capture. Working with Dottie and Denise and June, we've worked together for years. Come work also with Al and John, and of course with the assistants. And we've done a great deal of work on the paintings as well. It's good that we can all come together and try different things and attempt to at least express what kind of heroes we try to do. And as long as you've all appreciate it, that's really what it is. Like with anything, it's good that people can share ideas, and especially when it is about this land and this place. Because it's a pretty special place we live in, and always everybody proud of where we are and what we do. And I reckon that's pretty much all I'll say about it. But I just hope you enjoy it.
Thank you for coming again. A lot of you will know me as Junie Mills. Not so many would know my work, Larrakia, and my traditional names, Kanaki Nimal and Larrakia name Good Billing. There's quite a few other ladies that have got that same name. And Nimal. I must say, when I started doing stuff, like I bought one little shirt that I did like 30 years ago. It started by me wanting to wear my dreamings. I didn't want to wear roses and daffodils and all that. I wanted crocodiles and barramundis and seagulls. And I wanted to rock up at my Larrakia meetings with my crocodile, my dangalaba on my shoulder, my power. And I wanted my family to wear their power, be proud of who we are as a people and proud of our country and everything about us. So, of course, everyone got the crocodiles and the guanas and everything worn all over them. So I started out with those clothes there, dressing up the kids in their dreamings, telling them the stories, where it come from, what it's all about, why we wear barramundis instead of roses and daffodils, all that sort of stuff, whole hand-painted outfits. And then slowly people said to me, well, why did you do the canvas? Well, I didn't really see a lot of sense in canvases actually, because I thought they just hang on a wall. It'd be much better just dancing on the dance floor or something with it, but anyway. So then I slowly started making some canvases, and these are the most sort of recent type of things. So when we talked about heroes, and we have a lot of heroes in our recent history, even in our families today, in modern day, right now at this moment, we've got heroes left, right and centre, but I tended to go right back to the beginning of time. The beginning of when we was created, the beginning when we came from this land. Because we don't claim land, the land claims us because we come out of the land. And the centrepiece there, which I did there is, which I call Durl Nana. Durl is our dreaming. And I say Nana, but I could equally say Durl Darniki because it represents to me the Larrakia people coming out of our country. So you can see from the painting, it's like the Big Bang. It's the beginning of time, when we all came from the earth. And we have a special place in this country, on the other side, where we all come out of, Larrakia people. And we're very proud of that. We can lay claim to coming from this earth that we're walking on now. I won't give you the name because it's a sacred name, but that represents our people coming out of the earth here. And the Dangalapa there is our totem, right? And that's why I put all our people gathering around, because it's like our blood. That one, the Dangalapa, is our blood. We're it and it's us. And so that's why I've gone right back to the beginning for our heroes, because our dreaming stories, which is like an equivalent of a Bible, which teaches people how to live, how to be good people on the earth, laws. Well, our laws is in our dreamings, in our stories, how our ancestral forefathers taught us how to live, how to do ceremony, how to be good people, how to live in a sustainable and a caring, sharing, community kind of a way. All our laws come through dreaming, so that's why I've chosen to go right back to beginning. So actually when I did that one, it's actually sparked a whole series now in my mind of important places with important dreaming track stories, which will, at a later date, I'll probably, because we have very important places within the country here, you know. Like one of our major ones is Darwanongalinya, out at Kashrina Beach. It's just people call it Old Man Rock, but to us, it's sacred. It's our old grandfather, protector, who sits out in the middle of the harbour. And anyone that's trying to come into Darwin Harbour is there, and he's like our protector. And so these are the things that are sacred. They're like our heroes. When I talk about Darwanongala, to me that's our hero. And his wives, and the story that we hear about how he cared for his wife and where they travelled and the things that they did in the land. And we can see that reflected in the land. And that's my hero, so that's why I chose to do that one. So thank you so much.
Yes, again, I'd like to thank you all for coming to this great exhibition. My name's Jonathan Saunders, and I'm a practicing artist at the Darwin Visual Arts Association. I have a studio just next door, and I took a more literal approach to our heroes by looking at superheroes. I guess one of the themes that I'd like to explore through superheroes is just being inspired by seeing heroes as a form of escapism, but also inspiration. Especially with this work that I've developed, it's really looking at how there aren't very few black and even less Aboriginal superheroes in comic books and in film. You tend to see a lot open up a major DC or Marvel comic book or what's in the cinema, and there's usually one specific type of hero that is presented that is the default, and if there is let's say a superhero of a different minority or gender, they're usually quite pigeonholed or just caricatured as well. Needless, I guess a good example is looking at Super Friends, where you would take an entire nation, a different culture, and then just caricaturize it as just one mono nation. So for me, when you see a lot of American artists and writers try and present indigenous superheroes as your typical, warrior with the two boomerangs, and it's to me just reducing all Aboriginal culture to that one single image is just, to me, just is a bit of a insult, and it just also robs the audiences of a really good, compelling character and story. So for this work, a character that I tend to use a lot of my works is a 0 Point, urban indigenous superhero with science-based powers. It's more in line and tending to just take the whole superhero context and culture and reinterpret it in a more Darwin and indigenous light. So for me, what makes superheroes important for everyday life is that they help inspire and empower us. Every day we go to work, listen to our boss, go home and pay the bills and just veg out on the couch. Not very exciting lives, but through superheroes we can imagine ourselves and empower by imagining perhaps what it would be like to, say, I don't like the injustice that's happening in the world now, and our normal selves simply have to find a way to deal with it or help in another way. But through fiction, we can imagine ourselves ripping our shirt off, showing our shining emblem, and taking action. So, to me, that's why I felt that I wanted to use those characters, this particular character in this show. So I think I'll probably better leave it there, since mystery is the most powerful form of narrative, I think. So thank you again for coming.
Teacher, and I'm a Larrakia youngest artist, and I'd just like to say that the painting that we're actually doing is based on all our true stories, that what we believe in and what we hunt for, and it's mainly about the grandfathers of mine and also my father that used to work in the old Darwin Hospital, and also my grandfathers that used to be in the war. And I have never ever used any charcoal or anything like that. I just rather paint with a paintbrush straight apart. And these are the ones I actually did on my father and my grandfather's. The old Darwin